What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Today is Friday, May 30th. And as you guys can see, obviously we don't have NBA today, but I am indeed trying something new. I've been working on this behind the scenes for, honestly, I started doing it early April. I realized that MLB didn't really have enough data to make a good projection, in my opinion, or make a good model. So I kind of stepped away from it. And then if you guys have been in the Discord, which by the way, guys, I share all my picks, all my actual picks for free right before first pitch in my Discord down below. So if you guys do want to join the Straight Betting Discord, make sure to do that. You can get all my MLB picks for free. But anyways, guys, yeah. So I've been working on a model for a very long time. I've put a lot of time into it, guys. I'm honestly, guys, I am an idiot. Like I'm not good with technology whatsoever. ChatGPT pretty much helped me build the whole thing. Like I kind of I'm like familiar with baseball. So I kind of know what data to is relevant for forming a good projection. So as you guys can see here, this is my strikeout projections. These are my walk projections, which are 100% flawed, right? I mean, it's just like these are all way too heavily skewed to the overs. So, full transparency, guys. I got to sort something up with my walk projections because they are clearly flawed. With how they're working. So, yeah. And then I also just made a pitcher hits allowed. So those are the three markets that I feel good enough to get a good number on and project hits allowed, walks, and strikeouts, all for pitchers. And as you guys can see here, this is all these are all the games like where it actually starts. So I've been betting a lot of hitter walks because every single hitter has a walks line right here. As you can see, I'm kind of clicking over it, and then this is like hitter hits too. I haven't been doing that. This is also like hitter strikeout. So every single game is like projected out. And as you can see, guys, there's a lot of games. Like this is a 16 game slate, I think. So a lot of numbers are going into this, a lot of time. So look, if you guys are, this might not be your niche of content, but if you guys are interested in, MLB stuff, like this is what I'm trying to do is like strictly about making money. This isn't entertainment value. Like, let's be completely real. This is not entertaining at all. Like NBA, I think I can be a little bit entertaining with because I actually like can, speak it from the heart, speak it from quote unquote ball knowledge. This is just pure nerd shit. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in this stuff, make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel. I'll try to be doing these every single day during the MLB season. But yeah, on top of that, guys, like I said, I am not an expert in this. I do feel like my numbers have the relevant data back behind it. I will say though, guys, these are all averages. These aren't medians or mean numbers that go into this, and that's like inherently like this isn't a simulation, right? So when you simulate stuff, like a million times, that's kind of like the better way to get a more accurate line. This isn't that, but I do feel confident that these numbers will give you an edge in the long term. Maybe outside of the walks, even though my walk projections have actually been really good for the bets that have been winning for me. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say here other than the whole purpose of this video is to show you guys what goes into it, and I might do like a separate video of like what went into this model and where these numbers are like stemming from more in depth, and I'll obviously touch on that with like the plays. I guess one last thing to say, I do have some plays for today, but full transparency, guys, about these plays for these videos. Like I said, all my official plays are going to come in Discord right before first pitch, and there's a couple reasons why for that. One, I care about my account health. I care about my account health a ton, and I don't want to lose my betting accounts because I'm getting CLV on niche MLB markets, right? So like strikeout markets are definitely sharper than walks allowed and hits allowed for pitchers. So maybe if you're betting early on those, you could sustain an account for longer. But yeah, and also, guys, these are all projected lineups, right? So Cincinnati, Chicago, all these, like I said, I have a confirmed lineup button. I'll I'll pull this and modify it, but these are not confirmed lineups. So the numbers just aren't going to be as accurate when it's projected lineups, even though the projected lineups are, pretty close to right a lot of the times. It's just not going to be as accurate given that it's a projected lineup. And the final thing too with these morning things, and this is only a problem on the first game of series, but umpires do go into this, as you can see right here. This is the umpire. I have not announced, and obviously there's no walk boost for not announced, right? But this is also scraped from like the internet where, the umpire does, umpires have different zones, right? Some are more walk friendly, some are more strikeout friendly. And on top of that, guys, so it's like these are the first game of a series. Obviously, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday for like damn near every series, right? I think a couple played on Thursday, but usually it's like the first base. So the first base ump in a series will be behind the dish the next game. But when it's the first game of the series, you don't really know who's going to be the ump. So umps factor into this a fair bit, and we don't know that. And that's like, so these lines are just going to change slightly throughout the day and all that stuff. So yeah, I tried to say a lot, tried to explain it, but yeah, that's why I'm not actually going to be betting these plays that I give out. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are comfortable betting early, which I'm guessing you guys are, then feel free. Just know you're at risk for getting limited, for getting closing line value and stuff like that. But yeah, and obviously, guys, you can get limited by just not getting CLV2, but it makes it a lot easier for you to sustain accounts when you're betting closer to first pitch or tip off or betting closer to when the game starts. All right, guys. So let's get into some of these. What goes into this? So this is manually done. I know I need to learn how to automate stuff more. Like I said, I'm just not good with this stuff. I rely on ChatGPT for literally everything and scraping the data. I'm on a Mac, and this is like Excel on Mac. It's kind of tough, right? So I don't know how to scrape data to make stuff like automatically appear. Most of the stuff is manually done and manually refreshed. So yeah, but basically, guys, what goes into this is, and also, guys, I also don't understand standard deviations. So basically, you guys are probably like listening to me talk about this shit and like, dude, like I have no faith that this is an accurate number, and fairs. I think that it's a pretty accurate number, definitely more accurate than the books. Like I think I have an edge, but it's also not as accurate as it could be because ChatGPT told me standard deviation is 1.3 for pitchers for the most part, and obviously standard deviation is like variance, and different pitchers have different variance. So yeah, man. But yeah, basically what goes into this number is, so plus 122 with the VIG that's on strikeouts on average is minus 115 on each side. So it just like, this is like that, what the books, plus 122 for a 4.5 strikeout line, the actual projected number is like 4.24. And like I said, that's probably close to right. It's probably not exactly right, but it probably is close to right. So anyways, guys, props at the model, the projections, really, really like today. Zach Eflin under 4.5 strikeouts at minus 148. And let me quick just make sure that number is the exact same for Eflin. And then I'll go to the spreadsheet and like show how it got there, right? To kind of make it make sense. And you guys, so I typed this in last night, right? So a lot of these lines moved, and that's actually a good sign, right? For that my projections are somewhat accurate, because the best price in the market now on this is minus 165. So I'll put that in, and then, the projected number goes down. Still likes it a fair bit, right? At 40 points. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so this is like the percent difference of an under, right? So I'm taking my projected number and then the book's projected number weighted with the juice and the K line. So yeah, 40.7%, that's the highest strikeout differential. Obviously, it's very juiced, and you got to remember that there is variance. So there, is risk in laying juice, but it does feel like this number's way off. And let's go into Eflin's projections. And one thing I know about Eflin is that, so I do the pitch count myself. His pitch count has been way down this year. He's dealt with injury a little bit. He's struggled a little bit. So I tried to take his median. I think, I have him at 85 pitches thrown. If we go to like his raw numbers, strikeouts versus right-handed batters, 14%, that's very, very low. 12%, that's very, very low. Obviously, like these are his projected numbers against lefties and righties, and he's underperforming a ton. So I weight those a little bit, but I do weight it much heavier towards like what he's actually putting out on the field. Because I think with strikeouts too, there's a lot less variance with strikeouts because it's either you're hitting the ball or you're not. So yeah, he's been underperforming a ton this year. And the K multipliers, guys, these are important. So basically what goes into this, and I really should have just made a video explaining it to start, but yeah, so 22.1%. You see this number up here, 22.1%. That's a manual number, but that's the K multiplier versus right-handed pitchers. The average righty on righty strikeout rate, which I should have right-handed pitcher right here. But yeah, righty on righty strikeout rate is 22.1%. The average righty on lefty strikeout rate is 21.1%. So basically, I take the weighted projected number divided by that, and that's like that's like how difficult of a matchup Eflin is compared to an average righty on righty matchup. So yeah, basically, guys, Eflin is a very non-strikeout pitcher this year, and that's why he has very low K multipliers. But also, let's see, going up against the White Sox, K rate versus right-handed pitching. Honestly, like the batters in here, a lot of them don't have, aren't qualifiers because you have to all these in the right-handed pitch, all these like K percentage numbers, you have to be a qualifier, right? So if you don't have enough at bats, I'm just gonna use your projected K rate, and then I'm also gonna weight these a little bit. But yeah, surprisingly enough, guys, outside of like Luis Robert and Josh Rojas, no one really has a crazy high, strikeout rate against righties. The projected when you like look at the weighted projected numbers, yeah, outside of like Robert and Rojas, like even though the White Sox kind of stink, no one really has a high weighted projection. And then obviously when you multiply it by this multiplier here, or one of these multipliers, whether they are a righty or a lefty, the hitter is, yeah, it's going to create a ton of low projected K rates versus the opposing right-handed pitcher, which in this case is Eflin. So yeah, I tend to agree with this, man. I think that maybe they're kind of holding on to like what Eflin was last year a little too much. And yeah, so I guess that would be like the first lean. I'm kind of just like, yeah, I'm not going to say bet any of these. I'm just kind of showing you guys this, and I'll, this video is a little bit rushed because I do have work in a little bit, but so yeah, I'm just gonna go through the strikeouts ones, the 3 best ones I like today. Obviously, I think this needs a little bit of fixing up, and so does this, but or maybe not that it's loud, but all right, now let's go over to Matthew Liberatore, right? So that's like the highest, percentage difference between numbers for over strikeouts by a while. I have him at 6.03. The sportsbook's over number is plus 102, and at 4.5, which is like 4.38. So if we go over here, St. Louis at Texas, Matthew Liberatore is a lefty. And guys, I think this is the biggest thing. He's projected Liberatore, so he's a very efficient pitcher with 3.161 pitches per plate appearance. And then the Texas Rangers, not only do they strike out a fair bit, but they also have very quick at bats, right? So lineup weighted pitcher per plate appearance. Obviously, guys, this is all the Rangers batters and their pitches per plate appearance. Very low, 3.75 is the total weight for the lineup, and the league average is 3.88 or 3.89, one of the two, and that's another thing that probably got to clean up. But yeah, so it's like per the pitches per plate appearance boost is less than 1, which is obviously gonna make Liberatore project to be more efficient with his at bats. So yeah, I basically have him facing a ton of hitters, which is 25.4. Don't even have him throwing like a ton of pitches. Just expect him to be super efficient on his pitches due to how the Rangers are and due to how he is. And also, guys, yeah, like so his multiplier stuff like on an at bat level, like it's pretty good for especially for how efficient he is. So yeah, strikes out righties at a decent rate, lefties not terrible. None of the stuff's too crazy. But then we can go down to Texas, right? K rates versus left-handed pitchers. This says last 60 days, guys. I'm pretty sure that baseball season hasn't been going on for 60 days. I think it's coming up on it. But yeah, I mean, Wyatt Langford, 30%, 23%, 26, 23. All these guys are like literally 23+% K rates versus left-handed pitchers. So yeah, obviously, guys, they are underperforming. These are their actual projected strikeout rates. So weight that a little bit. But like I said, I do like to, actually see what's going on in the field. And yeah, so basically, guys, Rangers have been, striking out a ton. Liberatore is a very efficient pitcher. So yeah, I think that's kind of how it gets there. 6.03 is the projected for Liberatore. And like I said, there's like a plus 102 in market for the over. So yeah, it seems like that's like the biggest K projected over edge. And then the next closest under one is, like I said, these are all like these are like the ones that really stand out, right? Because all these seem pretty efficient, besides this one, which is 40.7%. And then yeah, like there's not even one is the next highest. Next highest differential is 17.9% down here with Brian Wu. So yeah, Brian Pepiot. Let's see. Yeah, Brian Pepiot is at 3.5. So his strikeout line is at 4.5 minus 135 to the under, and I think that might be like juice. Let's just quick check that, because I know that Liberatore one I did this morning. So yeah, Pepiot 2 is pretty juiced now. Best price in market is at MGM, which let's be real, you don't want to be probably betting with them super early in the day, because it seems like a great way to get limited. or just you probably can't even bet a lot, but minus 155 is the best price in the market, and the over price is plus 130 now. So switch that around a little bit. And then, yeah, the edge goes down, or the percent difference goes down a little bit because this projected number is going to go down with more juice. So, yeah, but still 31.8% difference between this number and this number. So that's obviously good. And then let's go check out why Pepiot is at such a low number. And it's 100% because of the matchup. But yeah, Pepiot have him. So it looks like he struggles to strike out righties, first of all. Really struggles to strike out righties. And this Houston team basically is all righties like every single game, which is crazy. Like if you go to like, none of these guys even have, Houston faces lefties so infrequently that they're not even, a lot of their guys aren't even qualifiers yet, which is crazy. Because they're all righties, right? So, teams always just throw righties against them. But yeah, Pepiot's inability to strike out righties is 100% what's going to skew this. On top of that, guys like Pena, Paredes, like none of these guys besides Cam Smith, like strike out. Like these guys really don't strike out a ton. So, projected K rates, obviously maybe they're overperforming a little bit, but yeah, you weight that over here. And yeah, that's basically how you get to Pepiot. So this is just like a brutal matchup, and especially his inability to be able to strike out righties. That's what's like really factoring into this. So, and this one actually does have an ump, which with a positive K boost, which is factored into Pepiot's line. Low walk boost, which is usually the case. If you're gonna strike people out a lot, you're probably going to walk people less. So that's typically how it works. But yeah, brutal matchup for Pepiot. So yeah, just made this video to quick show the models. I'm going to try to find a more efficient way to do these videos moving forward. But yeah, the biggest edges for these would be Eflin under 4.5. Like I said, maybe if you want to use like Liberatore, like I think a good way to do it is to, look at these projections, see which ones they really like. So really like Woo. You could do like Woo to get like 4 or 5 strikeouts and pair that with like these juiced unders if that makes you feel more comfortable. Because like I said, man, I don't have individual pitcher standard deviation, which is variance, right? And which is very important for laying juice, right? Laying a big minus number, you want to be sure about that. So I will say just be careful about that. And will I ever get the standard deviation down? I don't know. Maybe not. But of course, guys, you don't just like blindly bet these. Do your own research. That's what I do. I don't even blindly bet them. I like to double take them and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, guys, moving forward, I'll try to be more, smooth sailing with these videos. But like I said, I was kind of in a rush. I added the hit slot projections, and we'll post all these in the Discord. So yeah, guys, make sure to join the Discord too. Like, sub if you haven't already, and yeah, let me know. Let me know how you guys feel about these type of videos, because yeah, just curious want some feedback. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys are good with Excel or good with modeling, make sure to DM me on Twitter at StraightBetting. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you're going to DM me or something, or just leave comments down below and offer advice, because I do not have a big ego with this stuff whatsoever. I just want to help to make myself money, most importantly by betting, but also like share this stuff with others and hopefully help them as well. So all right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time.